Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge is a suspension bridge spanning the Golden Gate, the opening of the San Francisco Bay onto the Pacific Ocean. As part of both US Route 101 and State Route 1, it connects the city of San Francisco on the northern tip of the San Francisco Peninsula to Marin County. The Golden Gate Bridge had the longest suspension bridge span in the world when it was completed in 1937 and has become an internationally recognized symbol of San Francisco and California. Since its completion, the span length has been surpassed by 8 other bridges. It still has the second longest suspension bridge main span in the United States after the Verrazzano Narrows Bridge in New York City. In 2007, it was ranked 5th on the list of America's favorite architecture by the American Institute of Architects. The Golden Gate Bridge spans the Golden Gate, a narrow 400-foot deep strait that serves as the mouth of the San Francisco Bay between San Francisco at the northernmost tip of the San Francisco Peninsula and the Marin Headlands at the far southern end of Marin County. Although close by proximity, the two sides of the strait are separated by significant natural obstacles. Crossing the strait directly by boat is dangerous because of strong currents and lack of suitable landings. Ocean tides drive an average of 528 billion gallons of water every 6 hours, at peak currents exceeding 5.6 miles per hour. Circumnavigating the bay, however, involves a trip of several hundred miles and crossing several major rivers. Niagara Falls. The Niagara Falls are massive waterfalls on the Niagara River, straddling the international border separating the Canadian province of Ontario and the US state of New York. The falls are 17 miles northwest of Buffalo, New York, 75 miles south-southeast of Toronto, Ontario, between the twin cities of Niagara Falls, Ontario and Niagara Falls, New York. Niagara Falls is composed of two major sections separated by Goat Island, Horseshoe Falls on the Canadian side of the border and American Falls on the United States side. The smaller Bridal Veil Falls also is located on the American side, separated from the main falls by Luna Island. Niagara Falls were formed when glaciers receded at the end of the Wisconsin glaciation and water from the newly formed Great Lakes carved a path through the Niagara Escarpment en route to the Atlantic Ocean. While not exceptionally high, the Niagara Falls are very wide. More than 6 million cubic feet of water falls over the crest line every minute in high flow, and almost 4 million cubic feet on average. It is the most powerful waterfall in North America. The Niagara Falls are renowned both for their beauty and as a valuable source of hydroelectric power. Managing the balance between recreational, commercial and industrial uses has been a challenge for the stewards of the falls since the 1800s. Niagara Falls is divided into the Horseshoe Falls and American Falls. The Horseshoe Falls drop about 173 feet. The height of the American Falls varies between 70 to 100 feet because of the presence of giant boulders at its base. The larger Horseshoe Falls are about 2,600 feet wide, while the American Falls are 1,060 feet wide. Viewpoints on the American shore generally are astride or behind the falls. The falls face directly towards the Canadian shore. Thus, the most complete views of Niagara Falls are available from the Canadian side of the river. It is about a 2-hour drive from Toronto. Chichen, itza-Mexico. Chichen Itza is a large pre-Columbian archaeological site built by the Maya civilization located in the northern center of the Yucatan Peninsula in the Yucatan state, present-day Mexico. Chichen Itza was a major regional focal point in the northern Maya lowlands from the late Classic through the Terminal Classic and into the early portion of the early post-Classic period. The site exhibits a multitude of architectural styles from what is called Mexicanized and reminiscent of styles seen in central Mexico to the Puuc style found among the Puuc Maya of the northern lowlands. The presence of Central Mexican styles was once thought to have been representative of direct migration or even conquest from Central Mexico, but most contemporary interpretations view the presence of these non-Maya styles more as the result of cultural diffusion. The ruins of Chichen Itza are federal property and the site's stewardship is maintained by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History. The land under the monuments, however, is privately owned by the Barbachano family. The site contains many fine stone buildings in various states of preservation, and many have been restored. The buildings are connected by a dense network of formerly paved roads called sac biob. Archaeologists have found almost 100 sac biob crisscrossing the site and extending in all directions from the city. The buildings of Chichen Itza are grouped in a series of architectonic sets, and each set was at one time separated from the other by a series of low walls. The three best known of these complexes are the Great North Platform, which includes the monuments of El Castillo, Temple of Warriors, and the Great Wall Court. The Osario group, which includes the pyramid of the same name as well as the Temple of Extoloc, and the Central group, which includes the Caracol, Las Monjas, and Akab Zib. Bullfights. The exciting bullfight in the monumental Plaza de Toro, Mexico, which is currently the largest in the world. You will be delighted seeing the matadors' costumes and how they dare to perform their acts. Spring, summer and fall are the novices, which are quite incredible and challenging because novices are looking for and working hard to become professional and famous matadors. Winter is the big season with the full-fledged, most famous matadors from Mexico and abroad. Teotihuacan Pyramid. Teotihuacan is an enormous archaeological site in the basin of Mexico, containing some of the largest pyramidal structures built in the pre-Columbian Americas. Apart from the pyramidal structures, the archaeological site of Teotihuacan is also known for its large residential complexes, the so-called Street of the Dead, and its colorful, well-preserved murals. Teotihuacan was at its apogee in the first half of the first millennium CE, the largest city in the pre-Columbian Americas. During its zenith, it may have had more than 100,000 inhabitants, placing it among the largest cities of the world in this period. The civilization and cultural complex associated with the site is also referred to as Teotihuacan or Teotihuacano, although it is a subject of debate whether Teotihuacan was the center of an empire. Its influence throughout Mesoamerica is well documented. Evidence of Teotihuacano presence, if not outright political and economic control, can be seen at numerous sites in Veracruz and the Maya region. The city and the archaeological site was located in what is now the San Juan Teotihuacan municipality in the state of Mexico, approximately 40 kilometers northeast of Mexico City. The site covers a total surface area of 83 square kilometers and was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987 and is one of the most visited archaeological sites in Mexico. Hawaii. The Hawaiian Islands are a haven of tropical beauty, presenting some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. The islands teem with picture-perfect beaches, colorful sunsets, a myriad of cascading waterfalls, and greener than green rainforests brimming with exotic plants and fascinating wildlife. The island's coral reefs reveal a hidden realm awash with fascinating sea creatures, schools of colorful, lively fish, and the ever-loved, curious green sea turtles. Each island has its own unique traits accommodating many kinds of travelers and a multitude of interests. The Hawaii comprises more than 100 distinct islands, although there are only 6 main island tourists visit, 2 being much less popular yet equally beautiful. The main islands most popular for Hawaii vacations include Kauai, Maui, Oahu, the Big Island, Lanai and Molokai sit on many people's vacation agendas, but they are most often visited during a day trip rather than an entire vacation. Situated thousands of miles from the continental US and surrounded entirely by the ocean, there is literally no place like Hawaii. Hawaii is a unique holiday destination teeming with Hawaiian history and many fascinating traditions that make it a rare place. Hawaii Travel to the Big Island showcases the largest landmass in the island series, double that of all the islands combined. From snow-capped mountains to the beautiful shores of Big Island beaches, numerous different climates are found on the Big Island. Adventurers flock to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, hiking black lava beds surrounding Mount Kilauea. The west coast houses the most frequent coasts of Kona and Kohala, where there are many things to do in Big Island. Blue Lagoon, Jamaica. Jamaica is home to many sites of natural beauty such as the Dunn's River Falls and the Blue Mountains. One of the most famous and stunning is the Blue Lagoon, a deep blue water hole fed by freshwater springs and connected to the sea by a narrow channel. The popular attraction is also home to the top-class Blue Lagoon Hotel. The Blue Lagoon, Jamaica is famed for its intense blue and green colors, which range from azure to intense emerald and changes as the sun moves over it. The deep hue is caused by the depth of the lagoon, almost 200 feet. Blue Lagoon, Jamaica is open to the public. Anyone can make the journey from nearby Port Antonio. Scuba diving in the crystal clear waters is an experience not to be forgotten. Several tour companies in Port Antonio offer tours to Blue Lagoon. Independent travelers can park in the parking lot for the closed Blue Lagoon restaurant, an excellent eatery whose reopening is much awaited by tourists and locals alike. Another popular activity at Blue Lagoon, Jamaica is taking a boat along the coast to the nearby Monkey Island. Jamaica Beaches. As the third largest Caribbean island, Jamaica has hundreds of miles of beautiful coastline. The beaches of Jamaica are some of the finest in the Caribbean. Some Jamaica beaches are lively, fun-filled places packed with young sunbathers listening to loud reggae music. Other beaches in Jamaica are serene, secluded stretches of white sand, perfect for relaxing and unwinding. There are top Jamaica beaches in or near all the major resort towns. The long crescent-shaped Turtle Beach in Ocho Rios is one of the most popular beaches in Jamaica. Like many other Jamaican beaches, it is now surrounded by hotels and resorts. For a more secluded beach in Ocho Rios, try the in-town island Village Beach or nearby Reggae Beach, a few miles east of town. Runaway Bay is most famous for its great scuba diving, but the town also has some good Jamaican beaches. Most Runaway Bay Jamaica beaches are owned by resorts, but the Cardiff Hall Public Beach is free and open to the public. Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is one of the city's most oft-visited attractions. A gift to the United States by the French to commemorate the 1876 centennial, the Statue of Liberty stands both literally and figuratively as a beacon of hope and freedom from oppression. Sculpted from copper by the French sculptor Frederick Auguste Bartholdi, the Statue of Liberty was completed after a rocky start and a few refinancings in 1884. It was shipped nearly a year later to the New York harbor, and the dedication ceremony took place in 1886 in front of thousands of attendees. The Statue of Liberty has been featured in countless movies and mainstream culture venues and offers her many visitors a glimpse into United States history. The Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island are both accessible by the Statue of Liberty ferry. During the Statue of Liberty ferry ride, visitors learn pertinent Statue of Liberty facts and are treated to stunning views of Lady Liberty at adjacent grounds. A limited number of daily Statue of Liberty tickets are available to purchase on a walk-in basis, and space fills up quickly. The Statue of Liberty is open 364 days out of the year, closing only on Christmas Day. Taking a Statue of Liberty tour is a favorite New York City visitor activity. Established tours include the Promenade Tour, led by a park ranger with stops at the Statue of Liberty Museum, which houses the original Statue of Liberty torch, and Fort Wood at the monument's base. The Observatory Tour, that includes both the Promenade Tour along with the stop at the observation balcony. Both include incredible views of New York Harbor and Manhattan skyline. There is also an antenna audio tour, complete with additional history on the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, along with recordings of past generations recounting of their voyage to America. The audio tour is designed so that visitors may go at their own pace and create their own Statue of Liberty tour. The statue's crown is not accessible to visitors, and the torch was officially closed in July 1916. Alaska, Glacier Bay National Park. Glacier Bay National Park, Alaska is located in the southeastern section of Alaska. Encompassing over 3 million acres of land, Glacier Bay National Park, Alaska is sometimes referred to as the crown jewel of the national park system. The park gets its name from the surrounding bay area, which harbors some of the world's most spectacular tidewater glaciers. The snow-capped mountain ranges of Glacier Bay National Park, Alaska rise over 5,000 feet above the coastal beaches. There's also excellent wildlife viewing at the park, which includes a variety of land mammals, seabirds and marine life. The Glacier Bay begins to the north of Icy Strait. It continues for over 60 miles through the mountains and then terminates in the bare rock and glacial ice. The center of Glacier Bay National Park, Alaska, was once hidden under a vast ice sheet. Then, in the late 18th century, European explorers began to chart the adjacent waters. 85 years later, the American naturalist and writer John Muir would discover that the glaciers had receded more than 30 miles. Ketchikan, Alaska. As a travel destination, Ketchikan, Alaska means different things to different people. Some people enjoy Ketchikan, Alaska fishing. Others come to explore Ketchikan's Native American culture. If you were to take a Ketchikan tour, you would discover that the arts are also alive and well in this quaint town. Based on the number of festivals throughout the year, Ketchikan, Alaska has been referred to as one of the top 100 small arts communities in the United States. People enjoy Ketchikan, Alaska fishing because of its runs of trophy-sized fish, which include king, silver, red, pink, and chum salmon. The finest saltwater fishing for giant halibut, red snapper, lingcod and rock cod is also available. Numerous wilderness lakes and streams provide incredible fishing for steelhead, dolly varden, grayling, rainbow and cutthroat trout. CN Tower, Toronto. The Canadian National Tower, better known as the CN Tower, is the highest freestanding structure in the world. It is one of the best known Toronto attractions as a standout on the Toronto city skyline. As soon as you get a first glance of the city, the slim shape of the Toronto CN Tower will catch your eye. Located at the southern end of the city near the lake, the CN Tower, Toronto measures 533 meters high. Though the tower primarily functions for radio and television signals, it also has attractive features for visitors. At the top of the tower are a revolving CN Tower restaurant and lookout platforms. Dining in the CN Tower restaurant is expensive, but if you plan to eat there, you won't have to pay the fee for riding up the elevator. You will have to pay, however, if you only plan to get a drink at the bar. Taking the glass elevator up to the observation decks of the Toronto CN Tower is an experience in itself, and once you reach the top, you'll have the best view in the city. One of the observation decks is enclosed, the other is open and can get quite windy. The latter is not recommended for those who get dizzy easily. One of the observation decks has a glass floor, which makes the view all the more interesting. From these observation decks, it's possible to see for about 160 kilometers on a clear day. You can check the weather and time display at the bottom of the tower before going up. Above the observation decks is the Sky Pod, the world's highest observation gallery. Views from here are fantastic, but not that different than the decks below. The Sky Pod costs $7, can, etc. to see, so you decide if the extra 100 meters up is worth the cost. Ottawa, Canada. It may be said that Ottawa has been underappreciated as the capital of Canada ever since it was designated its title in 1858. Queen Victoria named Ottawa capital at a time when the two provinces of Canada, Upper and Lower Canada, were feuding. Likely, as a way to appease both sides, the Queen selected Ottawa because of its location on the Ontario-Quebec border. Since then, people have been skeptical about the choice for Canada's national capital. Today, you will find that Ottawa is a lovely place to visit and deserves much more credit as a capital city. Ottawa, Canada is brimming with green parks, awesome Gothic architecture, shops, beautiful Victorian homes and delicious restaurants. Framing Ottawa, Canada are the Gatineau Hills, an easy skiing getaway in the winter time. Running through the city is the Rideau Canal, which provides leisure activities all year round. If you speak with any Ottawa tourism expert, they are sure to tell you that Parliament Hill is the place to start your tour of the city. The most prominent building is the Parliament Building with its clock and peace tower. Sandstone and limestone carvings fill the inside of the Parliament Building, where the Commons and Senate sessions can be observed. Free tours are available of the building, which include an elevator ride up the Peace Tower to see the view. The east and west blocks on Parliament Hill are impressive to see with their copper roofs and Gothic styling. If your Ottawa vacation takes place during the summer time, you can see a free light and sound show on Parliament Hill during summer evenings. There are two shows nightly, the first being in English and the second in French. Montreal-Canada. Montreal is the perfect place for an exciting getaway. With great culinary delights, shopping, outdoor activities, diverse culture and a torrent of things to do, in Montreal, the possibilities are endless for a fun and thrilling vacation. In Montreal, life is just one big festival. If there's one thing that's evident, it's that Montreal residents like to party, and with over 40 festivals throughout the year, they sure do have some great excuses for it. Some of the festival type things to do in Montreal include the well-loved Just for Laughs Festival, Summertime's Jazz Festival, and lots of different film festivals.